I can't walk this morning, so nevertheless I'll just sit here, and I think it's important to make clear what we discovered last night, the things that we were talking about last night, in particular this idea of the introvert and the extrovert, because it's quite clear that this is something that's not in Gurdjieff's teaching. It is a quality of the ordinary man, the psychology of the ordinary man, that you are either an introvert or an extrovert. This is what we established last night, and we divided the groups up into these two groups, these two types, or these two classes. And of course the introvert is the person, is defined and quite clear, and we can distinguish this in ourselves. This is a part of self-knowledge, very elementary, that the introvert is someone who renews their energies in solitude, alone. The extrovert is someone who renews their energies with other people, and these are completely opposite groups. Now, this is a very simple thing to determine in anyone. It is a part of self-knowledge. It is therefore an elementary part of self-knowledge as far as the ordinary man goes. This is something that contradicts, in a sense, Gurdjieff's teaching that we can't actually do anything. Everything we try to do does not work and only makes our situation worse. Here is something that we can do. We can determine for ourselves which of these groups we fall into, which of these two groups. Do we renew our energies in solitude, or do we renew our energies in company? It's a very simple thing. So this is not in Gurdjieff's teaching. It's a very simple part of self-knowledge, self-study. It's something that the ordinary man can do without detriment to himself. And we shall, of course, look at this. We can divide people up, we do absolutely, into these two groups. Of course, each of these two groups, the introvert and the extrovert, are going to require different tasks, opposite tasks in a sense. It's no good giving them all, giving the introvert the same task as the extrovert. And this is going back to the overall viewpoint that I've put, which is the story of the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise, who does everything slowly, must be given a task for the purposes of self-study, trying to do things faster. The hare, who naturally does things faster for the purposes of self-study, is given the complete opposite task of trying to do things slower. And this is characteristic of Gurdjieff's teaching. However, it's totally unrecognised. And these categories, quite easily accessible to the understanding of the ordinary man, the introvert and the extrovert, give us an example of this. They're not going to require the same tasks. They're not going to require the same teaching. And to think that they do require the same teaching is to make a serious mistake. And I think this has happened, as we said last night, I think this has happened in Search of the Miraculous, that tasks given to Ouspensky, specific to Ouspensky, have become overall truths, as it were, in inverted commas, of Gurdjieff's teaching, such as the task of not identifying. This was given to Ouspensky and is not suitable for everyone, because there are those people who already do not identify, and the task given to them must be to start to identify with their own experiences, to actually experience their own experiences. So we can see in various aspects of this book, In Search of the Miraculous, there are completely opposite categories, requiring completely opposite tasks, completely opposite teachings, that are taken by Ouspensky and by the Gurdjieff tradition, in my opinion. They're taken on board as overall tasks that will apply to everyone, and this is incorrect. And what we were saying and what we showed last night when we divided the groups up, it's no good giving the same task to an introvert as you give to the extrovert. It's no good giving it the same task to an extrovert as you give to the introvert. So this is, I think, a valuable step forward for us, a valuable insight, and it's important to understand, I think, that the tasks that were given to Ouspensky, recorded In Search of the Miraculous, are not necessarily overarching tasks. They are not for everyone, and may even be harmful or damaging if given to everyone, if given to the wrong person, and if continued for long periods of time.